Hey, you all use a laptop, better charge the laptop lah. Don't just use the laptop. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What's your name? Huh? Who got car accident? Who? You got car accident?
No, of course not.
Oh.
Got two minor car accident. So late already.
Which one?
She won't pay. Huh? I wrote my name lah.
What ada? Tadi ah. Okay. Okay, guys. Come. Let's look at partnership. Now, take note of this. A partnership is not a chargeable person, and as a result, we cannot tax a partnership. Okay? Now, unlike, for example, we can tax Okay, unlike we can tax a company or individual, but we cannot tax a partnership because a partnership is not a chargeable person. So in that case, what do we do if, let's say, you set up a partnership business? Now, this is what we have to do. Yeah, I give you a part-time. Oh, yeah, sorry. Can you help me to change the date? Just what I did there. Okay? Okay, so to tax a partnership, we have to go through a small adjustment. Now, we don't tax partnership, okay? We don't tax partnership. We tax partner. And these partner, they are usually individual. Did I say they always individual? No, right? I said they are usually individual. So it's actually okay for you to have a partner who is a company. Alright? You can have a company as a partner as well. But they are usually individual. And how do you tax this partner? Now, usually they will tax it as a business income. Okay? This is what we'll normally do. So it will be usually 4A as a partnership business. Now again, it's not always a partnership business because a partnership may not just have business, but this is what they usually do. Okay, so how do we tax the partner? Now to tax the partner, this is a process that we will have to take the partnership, go through a computation to get an amount that will give to the partner. Now, that computation will be the steps that we're going to see here. We have to start off with provisional adjusted income. And then the divisible income. Now, these two figures belongs to the partnership. And the word divisible income, it's quite understandable. Literally, is the income that you divide back. Alright, that's why it's called divisible income. Now, and you are going to take that divisible income and give it back to each of the partner. Then from there, we will get to this figure called adjusted. And then from the adjusted, we will need to apportion the capital allowance in order for us to get the statutory. So apportion the CA to get the statutory. Now, how do we do that? Okay, so I'm going to go to the next page. Okay, let's look at page 241. Now, these will be the steps how we get provisional adjusted income and divisible income. So are you with me in this page? Okay? Now, so if you see at the left hand side, right, I'm giving you the detail of a partnership between Mary and Keith. So Mary and Keith are equal partner. What do you mean by equal partner? Yeah, that means they share equally. Okay? So that's why they did tell you that they share equal profit loss. Now, not only they share equal profit loss, they also get equal amount of salary. And now they give you the profit statement. Now, in the profit statement, can we just run through the items inside? There's depreciation. There's other business overhead. There's donation to the library. There's partner salary. There's holiday expenses for Mary. And then there's net profit. Now, if this is not a partnership, okay, think about that. If this is not a partnership, if this is just a sole prop, alright, don't write. If this is just a sole prop, what would you do in a tax com? You're going to take the net profit and do what? Normally, if this is a sole prop, you take the net profit and do what? You're going to adjust by adding back what? Give me one example of things you're going to add back. Yeah, you're going to start adding back depreciation. So you see, remember that process of what you normally do. Okay? That assuming that this is just an ordinary business of sole prop, we usually will add back the non-deductible expenses. Now, that's what you do, right? From the profit, you add back. Now, so I want you to use that to tell yourself, what we do is we add. We add. Profit, if we add depreciation, we will continue to add. Now, we will continue to add what? Now, I call this as partners entitlement. Okay? Call it as partners entitlement. Now, basically, partners entitlement refers to anything that you give it to your partner. Alright? Anything that the partners enjoy, including the salaries that partners are getting. Alright? All the private expenses that the partners are getting. Now, so the non-deductible expenses that we see here will be depreciation, right? Okay? 20. Oh, I'm sorry, this figure is wrong. It's 106. Okay, can you tell me, is there anything else inside the P&L that they are not deductible? The donation to National Library. Alright? Now, how much that you cannot deduct? 10. Good. So the donation to the library, you must add back 10. Now, anyone has problem with that? That why donation to library, you gotta add back 10? The maximum deduction is 100. Okay? Now, the rest of the expenses, you don't have a problem until you come to this. Partner salary. Can I know who is married? Partner as well, right? Now, anything that you're giving it to your partner, we will take that as an entitlement. Okay? Remember, anything that partner enjoy or they got it from the partnership, we'll call it as an entitlement. And what do you do in the entitlement? Now, this is what we do. Now, we have two partners over here. One is Keith, one is Mary. Okay? Now, the salary will be 12 and 12. Now, that's how we get it as 24. And then they also mentioned to you that there is this holiday expenses that Mary enjoyed, which is 10,000. Okay? Now, if you are doing a normal ordinary tax com, if this is not a partnership, okay? Again, I don't want you to write this, but I'm just going to tell you. If you're doing an ordinary tax com, the moment you add back all the non-deductible expenses, what would you call this figure as? Adjusted income. You would have called it as adjusted income, right? Adjusted income. But you see now, it's a bit different for us is because we also add on something that we call here as the partner entitlement. Now that's why we cannot call this as adjusted income. It is not adjusted income. That's why the law add the word provisional there. It's not an adjusted income, but it's a provisional figure. So what's the provisional adjusted income? Now it's 170. Okay guys, and this is what we're gonna do. It's another some people find it very funny steps. Okay? Now, this is what will happen. The figure here, that we take it as an entitlement, right? We just have to copy and bring it down. And this figure, copy and we bring it down. But what we'll do now is we will minus it. Now guys, that's the reason why I told you how you should remember. Because if you start at profit, right, you always add. Okay? Remember, if you start at profit, you adjust by adding. For example, your profit, you add depreciation. Then you add the entitlement. So you can remember it in that way. So you're doing the same thing. Now, of course, once you add, the next thing you do is you minus. Okay? Now, why you must remember this is because sometimes the exam questions is a bit tricky. Sometimes they start with profit. Sometimes they start with provisional adjusted income. And I can tell you this is what I can assure you, that because when we mark the papers, we know. And every time an examiner do that, you can see like nearly easily 30-40% of the students, they just make silly mistake. For example, they take the provisional adjusted income, they add again, and then they minus again. So that's wrong. You should just go ahead and minus. And the best part is, when the student take provisional adjusted income and add, they don't know what to call that total. And they invent names that I also don't know where they are so creative. And say, they shouldn't become accountant. They invent names to write there, and then they give funny names, because they know that you have to write something there, but they just say what to write because they didn't realize that's a BAI. You're already starting at the next level already. So I don't want you to make this mistake. So please remember the steps and don't make silly mistakes. Because once you do that mistake, you're going to pay a very costly price. Your figure up there is wrong. And then later a lot of things at the bottom all affected. So you're going to get all the way down with all sorts of mistakes. So be extra careful. Okay? Now, you might ask, actually what is the point of the steps add the 2410 and minus the 2410? Because adding and minus will come to what? 0, right? I mean, you probably ask, why not they just don't show this and don't show this? It's actually the same, right? I mean, why would they want to ask you to do stupid steps like that? Now, the reason is because you have to appreciate where we come from in the past. In the past, tax is all assessed by the government people. Not like today, self-assessment. Those days, we don't have computer. This is donkey years kind of law. They have not changed, alright? So in the past, when you submit a form, you're expecting the government servant that's in the Inland Revenue Office to pick up your form and do all the things for you. So it's bad never say hi one? Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel. Your girl want to say hi. Chị Jem say hi. I want.
You want?
So bad. Why say who say cannot? Huh? Miss Mon say cannot. Yeah. Later I'll dream and then I saw Miss Mon in my dream. Okay. So the reason why there's these steps add and minus, right, is because those days everything is manual and the government servant will actually have to pick up all the information from the form. So they need to know the amount. So that's why they force you to fill in the amount and tell them, nah, there's the amount, Then after you show them everything, they say, okay, minus out. So the whole idea is they want you to show them the amount. But of course, in today's world, it's all computerized. But we are still using the old law. That's why it looks a bit funny. Okay, it looks a bit funny, but that's our steps. So we got to follow. Okay? Now, so what do you get as your divisible income? 136. Okay. So literally this is the word divisible. Now go to the next page. You divide using the ratio. Okay? Now how do you divide? Now let us start with this. Start on with the divisible income. And the ratio is supposed to be half-half. What is the divisible income? 136, right? So each of them will get 68. Okay? Now, the partners are not just having the divisible income. The partner has also taken salary, taken all these private expenses, and all these should only go back to the individual partner. Now that's why the steps will now show you how much have you given to Keith and how much have you given to Mary. Now take this amount and give it back to them. For example, the salary that goes to Keith is 12, Mary 12. So I start with Mary, okay? Sorry. So the holiday expense will be 10. Now this is all that they receive from the partnership. Now we call this as adjusted income. 90, 80. So guys, that's my partnership business. And then you're going to give them the capital allowance, right? Which again, you have to apportion using the ratio of 50-50. So the capital allowance is given as how much? 30,000. So in that case, you expect that 15 will be claimed here. Alright, so you have your statutory income 75, 65. Okay, so do you get the steps? If you get the steps, then we're going to try the example in page 243, just the next page. Okay, if you're done, then let's go to page 243. Alright guys, I would like you to begin off with this. Now, we're going to start off with part A, alright? Where they ask you to compute the partnership business statutory income for year of assessment 2018. Now, and you have to know, you can't begin off with the statutory income if you do not follow the steps. So that's why you do have to follow the steps. So what you have to do is you have to go through, take the partnership, and then find the PAI, then find the DI. You know, you have to go through the steps. Alright? Now, but I just want to give you a warning, okay, that sometimes question already given you PAI. So that then when you start at a different level. You follow? Okay? Now, if you focus at the requirement, the questions begin off by telling you that Power Partners is a partnership between Fei Fei and Fei. And they share profit loss ratio at the ratio of 35-65. And the profit loss for 31st December 2018. Now they've given you all the P&L account, right? Now they have a net profit of 416,000. Okay. Now I'm going to begin off with the partnership. Okay. PAI and DI. Now I'm going to begin with that. So the profit before tax, okay, the profit before tax, now I might need a bit more column later on because I need to show the individual partner. Okay, now so let's just begin off here with 416,000. Right, let me format the cell to change number to no decimal and use separator because I'm already in ringgit. Okay, can you start off with this part? Help me to find what is my PAI. I give you 2 minutes. For example, you will start adding back depreciation. 60,000, right? And then you just go on, okay, with the rest. Okay, so what else are the things that you cannot claim? Okay, only things that I cannot claim, I'm going to adjust. Those that I can claim, I just leave it out. Okay, now they tell me there is entertainment. Now, can you claim entertainment for clients is wholly related to sales? Yes. Suppliers? 50%. So 50% of 58. So we're going to add back 29,000. Okay, the next one is maintenance of the motor car. Okay, I think I must let you know the issue here, because at the bottom of the profit, right, which I didn't read the whole question, but I'm telling you now. At the bottom, after the profit, you see there's a short paragraph that describes to you about the car. Okay, let's look at that. The partnership has a motor car used exclusively by Fei Fei, which is the partner. The private usage of that car is 40%, and the capital allowance of the partnership is 126,000, of which 20,000 relates to the car. Now, when you have a sole prop, okay, if you have a sole prop, if you have any personal or private usage, the private usage is not claimable. But this is not a sole prop, this is a partnership. So when one partner uses the car, we only charge to that partner. Because if you go and add back everything here, right, that means you are penalizing all the partners. See, if I don't drive the car, if you add back this is non-deductible, that means you also penalize me. Now that's why what we do is we only add it back to that particular person. Now how do you do that? You put it under entitlement. Okay, now so I will skip that part. Okay, next one, general provision. Any issue? General provision, can claim or not? Cannot, right? So you add back 50,000. Okay, salaries to employee, any problem? No. Okay, so cash donation, you can't claim, or add back 40,000. Okay guys, we finish off all that now. So I'm going to do now is this, I'm going to add back, yeah. Oops. Thank you. Okay, we're going to start adding back partner entitlement. Okay, add back partners entitlement. In the exam, if you want to put the add minus sign, because to the Excel, the add minus is actually a formula. So you will not be able to do that unless you put an apostrophe. Apostrophe is to tell the cell that I want to type everything in as it is. Don't change. Don't use formula. So once you click enter, the apostrophe will disappear. Alright? So this is just to let you know what you can do. Okay? So that's why you see it become like that. If you don't put apostrophe, right, then it will tell you that there's an error, because it will take that as a formula. Okay? Okay, so who are the partners that you have here? Now, you have two partners. One is called Fei Fei. One is called Fat Fat. Okay, what are their entitlement? Salaries, how much? 24, 36. Now you will find that computer is extremely user-friendly when you do partnership, because there's lots of copy and paste. Now interest on capital, the amount is 10,005, 10,005. Okay. Now then you have insurance, which is given for Fei Fei, amount is 6,000. And then you have food expenses consumed by the partner, which is also for Fei Fei, 9,000. And then you have maintenance of car. See, the car is used by the partner, so we just penalize that partner. So that maintenance is 40%. Alright, maintenance is 40%. And then how much is the maintenance? 10,000. So there will be 4,000 to be added back. Now this will be the amount that we will just add back. So I'll just take a summation of this, and let's just pull it all down. And this is your provisional adjusted income. Okay, just pull it all down to get a summation of this figure. Okay guys, then we will minus off the partner's entitlement, right? Now this is what you're going to do. Just copy back all the thing up there. Equals to minus this and pull it down. See, you don't have to keep on typing. Again, I'm just showing this, okay? Now, because you are just bringing down the figure, right? So you just equals to negative means minus. Then you minus the cell. Okay, so you click the cell, press enter. Now then you want to copy for the rest, right? So you just come here and pull it down. Then it will automatically repeat the cell for you by moving it one row below. Okay, so that's what you do. So it becomes so much more user friendly, so much more easier and faster. Now this is my DV server income. Okay, now we are not done. We're not done. Now we need to compute the partnership business statutory income. Now, and you have two person, right? You have Fei Fei and Fei Fei. Okay guys, what you do now is you start with sharing of divisible income. Now the sharing is this amount and at the ratio of 35. Right? At the ratio of 35. And this amount at the ratio of 65. So it's so much more convenient, right? You don't even need to use a calculator and calculate again and again. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to bring back all the entitlements. So can you go up again? You see this part? See this part? That's the entitlement, correct or not? Now, copy and come down, paste. And how you're going to compete with the speed. Okay, so just copy and paste. Now, and that's the reason why when we're up there, right, we show the individual partner so that we can now move their answer down. And that's your adjusted income. Okay, so you can just total them. Okay, so what you're going to do now is to minus all the capital allowance, right? Okay, now when you minus all the capital allowance, you have to take note of this issue about the car, because the car is the one that the partner use it privately. So what will be the adjustment of the CA? Now if you want, you can do it as a working. Okay, now I can do it as a working. Now the capital allowance will equals to 106,000 plus 20,000 times 60%. $106 plus 20 times 60%. Any idea why we take 20 times 60%? Yeah, this 20 is for the 20 is for what? For the car, right? 20 is for the car, and then the 60% is the business usage. So we only let you claim the business usage. So that's why it's 20 times 60%. Okay? Now, and then what you do with that CA, you have to use the ratio 35/65. So equals to negative 118, then times 0.35. Equals to negative 118 times 0.65. Now that's my final figure, statutory income. So let's get a summation of that. 216,950 and 350,050. Now this is the answer to part A. So you cannot do this part if you do not have the PAI and DI. So it's together. The question didn't ask you, but it's together. Okay? Okay, now I would like you to do part B now. Part B, they're asking you to do the tax com for Fei Fei. Okay, part B, the tax computation for Fei Fei for year assessment 2018. Now guys, this is to show you how the progression that from the partnership, how that the figure affects your tax com. Now we only look at one of them, which is called Fei Fei, right? Now, you have to understand that you can begin off with 4A. And when you talk about 4A, you have a partnership, business, SI, that the figure is 216,950. So whether you get a 216,950, you got it from the answer in part A. Okay, now I would like you to carry on. Try that. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes just to sort out your figure. Just try that. Okay. Okay, now let's look at part B. Okay, they give us additional information for Fei Fei. This is what they are saying. There's rental. Now the rental is without maintenance support, which is 4D. There's donation. There's current year business loss from a sole prop. There's also unabsorbed business loss and medical insurance. Now that means there is a sole prop business that the statutory income must be 0 because it's loss making. Okay, now this is my aggregate business statutory income. So what's the purpose of doing that is to minus your unabsorbed business loss brought forward. Now that loss, right, is given to be 10,000. So your net amount is 206,950. Now what do you bring back now is the rest of the income. So I've noticed that 4D rental. Now we take that as the adjusted statutory income. The amount is 24. Anything else? Any more income? No, right? Now if no, then this is our aggregate income. Okay, what do you minus? Current year business loss, and that loss is 65,000. Okay, you probably noticed that there is a cash donation to project of national interest, and that amount, it's actually 30,000. Okay. Now, this is one of the common mistakes that students will do because they actually missed out. Now you cannot blame them because the question has been like so long already. So from earlier until here is like a long journey. So what happened is some of them actually forgotten. Now I'm going to go up again. Now do you realize that in the partnership we have one figure here, which is our cash donation. Now you know, normally donation is added back to the profit and then you claim at the bottom, but the partnership is not a person. So where did these 30,000 go? Now it will actually come here. Alright? It will actually come here, where this will be the cash donation from the partnership. But the partnership is not just one partner, but it's the two partners. So they have to take the respective portion. That means they will take the 35%, because that's what Fei Fei is having, right? So 35% of how many thousand? 30. So what is 35% of 30? Now you get 10,005. Now but maximum is 7% of the aggregate income. So will it exceed or not? Now let's just try. Equals to this 7%. And the amount is only 16,000, and answer is yes, it's going to exceed. Okay. So these two shows that the total come here, but maximum is only 7%. Now this will be my total income. So that's what we do after total income is we minus tax relief, and there's a couple of relief, right? So first personal deduction is 9,000. And in the questions, they only mentioned that Fei bought medical insurance, that the value is 1,006. Okay, now I think that's it. So that's the end, the chargeable income. Alright, now I'm just showing the tax at the side. On the first 100,000, you're going to pay tax at 10,900, and then the balance 39,184. Your tax will be at 24%. So 39,184 at 24%. Then this is your TP. Okay, now I'm just doing it here so that I don't have to scroll down. So you can see that there's more space for you to refer. Okay, that's your TP. Any questions so far? Any problems that you need me to clarify? How do you handle partnerships? So do you realize we are not learning anything new? We only learn the steps of how to go to the provisional adjusted income, divisible income, and then split the income. That's all. We are not doing anything new. Okay, now for those who have done, please go to page 244. We're going to see another part now. Okay, now let's look at the other page now, 244. Okay guys, now in 244 we're going to deal with this thing called change in partnership. Okay? Okay, in what way that we can have changes to partnership? Now, normally the change can be you change the ratio. Now, alternatively, you may also change the composition. So changing composition means you get more partners coming in or existing partners leaving. And do you realize that when composition change, the ratio also change? If you add one more extra partner, then your ratio is going to be different. So that's why eventually the change of composition is also a change of ratio. That's why the treatment is the same. Alright? Now whenever we have a change of ratio or change of composition, the question now is how do you deal with it? Now these are the steps. The allocation of divisible income must be apportioned into the time based on before the change and after the change. So the portion that relates to the old arrangement, you're going to use the old ratio. The one that use the new arrangement, you use the new ratio. So we are not talking about tax now, we're talking about mathematics. You're doing math. It's only apportionment based on the respective ratio. Okay. But one thing you have to be careful is the CA. Although the DI we have to allocate, but always remember, but CA, we will only apportion using the ratio at the end of the basis period. Okay? For CA, we will apportion using ratio at the end of the basis period. Okay, can we look at this illustration? Now, if you see part A, we are asking you for more or less the same thing. We are asking for statutory partnership income for Kok Kyong. Okay. Now, it starts off with the story telling you like Mr. Kok and Mr. Kyong started a partnership selling jewelry. Now then, for the financial year end 31st December 2018, now see they already given you the provisional adjusted loss. Now take note, you are not starting with PBT, you are starting with PAI, and of course take note, the PAI is a negative figure. Now you have a negative PAI. Now it doesn't matter, it's only a figure. Okay, this is not current year business loss. Not yet. Okay, current year business loss must be at the adjusted income level. So please take note of that. Okay. Okay, now they tell you the partner's salary is 2,000, 1,000, then 6,000, 1,000. That's the figure. Now the salaries change. The interest on capital, sorry, this is not 25, it's 2005. Okay? Okay. Then they also mentioned that this traffic summon paid for Mr. Kok, paid by partnership for Mr. Kok, then also there's holiday expenses for Mr. Kok. And now you see these are the issues that we are looking at. The ratio was initially 1:1. And that ratio 1:1 is actually meant for how long? 6 months. Then later on the ratio changed to 1:4. Then they give you the capital allowance. Now let's just do this part. Okay, so this is AK jewelry. Now we're going to begin now with the partnership PAI and DI. Now, provisional adjusted loss. Now I want you to take note that although this is a loss, it really doesn't matter. Just carry on with a negative figure. Can I give you a warning? Don't put 0 here. because that's what usually student does. Okay, each time when we mark the paper, we notice what student thought is, oh, it's a loss, I put 0. Now that's wrong. Okay, you don't do that. Now, okay, what is the next thing you do? What do you do after you come to the provisional adjusted income? Do you plus or do you minus? Minus. Very good. So you minus partners, entitlements. And we have two partners here called Kok and Kyung. Now you know that their salaries. There's also interest on capital. There's also the traffic summon and also private expenses. Sorry, holiday expenses. Alright, now can you just fill in all the amount for me? Okay? Okay, since you have the Excel, the capability to do calculation, why not just calculate from here? Kok has 2,000 salary for 6 months, and then 6,000 salary for another 6 months. That's 48. Then Kyung is obvious, is 12. The interest is 5,000 and 2,005. The traffic summon is 1,000. The private expenses is 3. Now this will be the amount that you minus, so negative sum, go all the way down. Now guys, you're going to call this as divisible loss. It's no longer an income because it is indeed a loss. Okay, it's a divisible loss. And again, I must warn you, don't go and put 0. Okay? It's just a loss, no issue, just go on. Because you only come to current year business loss when your adjusted income is negative. So we've come to the figures that we need. So now we can compute the partnership business statutory income, right? Okay? Give you a minute, then we'll come and look at this. This is the only part that's different now. Okay, now look at this, guys. What you have to do is due to the change in the partnership ratio, you have to time apportion the DI. Now I'm writing it for you. I'm not writing it as an answer. Okay? So you will have to get your divisible. Now of course this is not income. This is a loss. But it will be 6 months, 6 months. Okay? Now the 6 month will be 81,005, 6 out of 12, and then you're going to use a ratio of half-half. Because that was the original ratio. Okay? And then, the other 6 months, the ratio is 1/4. Okay, I just move away the space so that I give you my calculation here. Negative 81.5, 6/12. So it's 47.50, right? Now, then the ratio will be equals to this ratio times half. Okay? So the amount is the same. Now, then it will be this ratio times 1/5. And this amount times 4/5. Now that's what that they're having. Follow? Now, so can I remind you that all the figure here, they remain as a negative figure. Don't go and put 0 because not yet. Okay, they remain as a negative figure. Now, then you bring in the entitlement. So again, remember what we'll do is we just copy. So take this 4 amount, copy, put it in. Then take this 4 amount, copy, put it in. Okay, so we're just transferring now the figures from the top to the bottom. And now let's look at these. Adjusted income. Okay. Now if we total up the entire column, now you will probably notice that even though the negative figure that you started off with Mr. Koch, right, it didn't end up with negative already. See that? That's why if you didn't maintain the negative figure, your answer will be so wrong. It's all out. See, the negative remain convert from negative to positive because of the entitlement. But for Kyung, truly is a negative figure. So what I'm going to do, I'll tell you, Kyung, you have a current year business loss 38,475. Now that's for Kyung, so amount is 0. And then you're supposed to minus off capital allowance. Now the ratio, now take note, the ratio is 1:4. Don't time apportion the CA. Okay? Don't time apportion the CA. So the amount is 12,000, right? The CA is given as 12,000. So equals to this figure times 150. Now, and sorry, Kyung, you have to carry forward your CA 9,006. So the statutory income for Koch will be 26,075, and for Kyung is kosong. Okay, can I now get you to do for me part B? Part B is for Mr. Kyung, so they just give you an additional few items. They want you to finish off the tax comp. Okay, so do a tax computation for Mr. Kyung for year of assessment 2018. Now please try that for me. So any questions so far, any problem? If you need my help, just raise up your hand, I'll come to you. If you have a problem with Excel, just tell me also. Okay, so 3 minutes. Get me the answers to part B.
The interest on capital mentioned.
Oh, I missed out the interest on capital, is it? Oh gosh, I missed out. No I include there, is there interest on capital. No, that is their income. It's already in the partnership. Yeah, the interest on capital is part of their partnership income. I thought I missed out. Sorry, nothing, no issue. I didn't miss out. Okay, so for 4A business, I would like to start with partnership. The partnership business is not profitable, it's a loss. So I'm beginning off with 0 there. Okay, then it goes on and tell you that there's a statutory income from a sole prop. Okay, now that's given as 25. So this is your aggregate business statutory income. It's 25, and you're supposed to minus unabsorbed business loss brought forward, and that loss brought forward is given as 4. So the net amount is 21, right? Okay, once you finish off with that, then you will have 4C, the dividend, which obviously is 0 because it's tax exempt. And then you're supposed to have another one which is interest. Now interest from bank is tax exempt as well. So it's all 0, 0, correct? Huh? So it's all tax exempt. Okay, and then this is my aggregate income. So actually it's 21,000, and you're supposed to minus off your current year business loss. Now what is the loss? See, the loss is 38,000 plus, so you would have got all the loss deducted up to maximum 21,000. Then the medical equipment donated, you can't claim because you got no more income, right? So the total chargeable income would just be nil. Okay? And once you minus off the loss, you actually will still have business loss carry forward. How much is that? Okay, 17,475. Okay, so it's not that tough, right? It's quite straightforward. Now I will do one last one with you, which is in page 245, but there's nothing new that I need to discuss with you anymore. You've got all the knowledge you need. So the only difference is the environment or the question circumstances have changed a bit. Instead of changing the ratio, I'm giving you a new questions about changing the composition. Okay, so those who have done then can go to page 245. Okay. Now again, I'm asking for statutory income from partnership business for 3 partners called Henry, Kelvin, and Michael. Now this is a story. Aqua Farm owned and run by 2 partners, Henry and Kelvin, and they prepare account to 31st December. Now on 1st March 2018, Kelvin has fallen ill and retired from the partnership. And they say that on the same day, Henry invited Michael to join the partnership. Now you see that's a change. So initially it's a partnership between Henry and Kelvin. And now they have a partnership that is between Henry and Michael. And not only that, the partnership has also revised the ratio. Initially the ratio was 40-60, and now they change the ratio to 70-30. So when they change the ratio, then we'll take this as again a change in the partnership. Now they gave us the provisional adjusted income is 1872, and now they say the capital allowance is 30,000. So I just want the partnership statutory income. So what you're going to do now is Aqua Farm. Okay, I want the partnership PAI and DI first. You know, that's always what we do, PAI and DI first. Now you already have the PAI. It's already given to you, okay? And the amount is 1872. So what do you do next? Okay? Now, this is a very short example. I just give you about, let's say, 5 minutes. Try and get me the answers. So find the DI first, then go ahead and do the business SI. Yeah. Sorry? Yeah. Oh, combine. There's only one partnership. Yeah. Then the total you have to move it up because the 187. Yeah. Wait. Where's the diet? Come on, must drink, drive your energy. Look like me, Hey, why are you so slow? There are 3 partners, not 2. There are 3 partners. You can go home, use computer and try. Okay, now let's try this aqua farm. Now we have 3 partners, so you're supposed to minus partners entitlement, and then the partners will be Henry, and then Kelvin and Michael. Now we have salaries. Now Henry's salary is 12,000 per annum, so it's only meant for 2 months, and then when the partnership change, the salary is 15,000 and it will go on for 10 months, so his salary is 14,500. So make mistake? Mistake means careless, didn't read properly, yeah? Cannot. $12,000 for 2 out of 12, 15,000 for 10 out of 12. Okay? Now what about Kelvin? Now Kelvin is only there for how long? 2 months, so 18,000, 2 out of 12. Well, Michael is there for 10 months, so 24,000 times 10 out of 12. Now that's the salaries. So it's so much easier if you just work it out on the Excel, right? You don't even need calculator now, right? Now the interest on capital, okay, Henry, I think it's quite straightforward because before and after the change is 3,000, so it's not going to be different. Now Kelvin is 2,004, and that will be for 2 months. And then Michael is 600, and that will be for 10 months. And that's it. So equals to negative summation of this, and pull it down, that's the interest. And you call this as divisible income. And now we're going to go ahead with 4A partnership business statutory income, right? And now again you're talking about 3 partners. Okay? You know, in the exam when you do your answer, your spreadsheet is part by part only. So if you have part A, right, part A will have a spreadsheet. Then part B will have another spreadsheet. So you don't actually do like what we are doing, like all the way on, not like that one. Your part A has one spreadsheet, then when you go to part B, you actually come to a new spreadsheet again. Then it will be like that. So I just want to let you know, so that it's not a continuation. Okay? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take the share of the divisible income, and this time you have to do it based on the 10 months and the 2 months and the 10 months. Now you see the 2 months is supposed to be 40, 60 and 0 because the guy is not there. And then you're supposed to be 70, then the second partner left, the third partner coming. So I just put 7, 0 and 3. Okay? And this amount, if you apportion 2 months, that's the figure. And if you apportion 10 months, that's the figure. And Henry will take this times 0.4. Kelvin will take this times 0.6. And Michael is 0. And in the second part of the partnership, we will take 121 times 0.7. Kelvin is 0 and Michael will be this times 0.3, which is apportioning, okay? Now then you have to bring in the entitlement, which you just copy down what you have on top. And this 3 figure, copy down. And we have the adjusted income. We'll just get a total of these 3 partners, that's the amount. Now, and remember we say the rule for CA is based on the ratio at the end, right? So it's 7, 0, 3. And the capital allowance is told to be 30,000. So equals to negative 30,000, 0.7. And then equals to negative 30,000, 0.3. And Kelvin has no CA because Kelvin is not there at the end of the year. So the statutory income for each partner is the total of the AI minus of the CA. Clear? Now that is how we deal with partnership. Alright? Okay, so I'm done with this chapter, and there's one example at the back there you can try. I'm going to go on with agriculture allowance after this. So I'll give you a short break. Okay? Take a break and come back and continue. Okay guys, okay, we're going to learn something even the CAT has not learned in class. So it's completely new. Like, come. Page 249. Okay, remember when we talk about Schedule 3 allowance, we have capital allowance. And capital allowance is for what? Capital allowance for plant, machinery. Then we have IBA, which is meant for industrial building. Okay? Now, there's another allowance that the government gives called agriculture. And the name itself, I think, is quite literal. So if it's called agriculture allowance, what kind of business do you think it relates to? Yeah, farming. It's to do with farming. But of course, agriculture is not just farming. Okay? Even aquaculture actually falls under agriculture. Alright? So even if you say you have a fish pond, all that, it's still under agriculture. Okay? Now, so we are introducing you one more allowance that we have not come across in the past. Now, remember when we talk about CA and IBA, we notice there's a lot of similarity between CA and IBA. Okay? Now, so what we're going to do now is to look at how agriculture allowance is quite different with CA and IBA. Now, I'm going to make comparison in this way. CA IBA versus agriculture allowance. So you gotta tell me what you've learned and then we'll make comparison with agriculture, okay? Okay, give me a formula for how do you derive CA. You take two figure, one times another. What's the first one? QPE, exactly. You take QPE times the rates, okay? And I put rates because the rates are basically divided into 3. Okay, actually it's 2 lah, huh? Which 2? IA, initial, and AA. So we have initial allowance, we have annual allowance. Now, so take note of the difference now. Agriculture is actually based on Q. Right. Why don't you guess? Q what E? Yeah, I mean it's quite obvious, right? If plant machinery is QP, industrial building is QB, then agriculture is QA. So it's called qualifying agriculture expenditure. So it's A, okay? QA. Okay. Now, and then it will be rate. Notice I didn't put an S there. Now that's because for agriculture allowance, right, we don't actually have initial or annual. So it's quite special, it's quite different, right? There's no initial, there's no annual. So what do you call that? You just call agriculture allowance. That's it. It's just an agriculture allowance. Now, an agriculture allowance itself, they divide it into 3 levels or 3 types of rates, which can either be 50%, 20%, or 10%. Now, I mean, mathematically, if I say the rate's 50%, how long do you need to claim?
2 years.
Wow, it takes so long. Okay, 2 years, all right, 2 years. If it's 20, 5 years, and 10 years. That's it. No IA, no AA, just agriculture allowance. And the rates are divided into either 10, 20, or 50. Okay, so I would like you to imagine if you're going to start a business doing plantation. Let's say you want to plant palm oil, palm oil tree. Okay, what will you do first of all? Okay, you're going to buy a land, all right? Now, where will you get this land? Buy from KL. Take MCKL field and start planting palm oil tree. Will you do that? You won't. Why? It's too expensive, right? Nobody will plant palm oil tree in this side of land, okay? So you're probably going to get a piece of land where? Yeah, ulu, yeah, that's the best word. The ulu land, okay? So you probably will go to that kind of... She's like... Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, I teach you. It's called ulu.
What is that?
Say it again. Ulu. She don't believe me. Correct or not? Huang. Ulu. Ulu means very... I want a better word that really give that feeling. Okay? Ulu, yeah, actually it's very outskirt lah, okay? That means you're going far away lah, okay? Going far away, alright? So it's like going deep in the jungle and find a piece of land like that, okay? Now, so you're talking about perhaps, you know, you go police, get a kind of really cheap land that nobody has explored. Okay, so if you're going to go to that kind of land and going to start doing plantation, what would be the very few things you're going to start doing? Clear, yes. You're going to start clearing off the land, right? Alright, so you're probably going to chop off the tree or use the Indonesian style, you will burn, yeah, burn, alright, okay? So you're going to start doing all these things, right? And not only that, you know, when you go into this kind of land and you start developing land into your plantation farm, you're not going to have road, right? You think the road is there. So what are you going to do? You build your own road. Alright? You're going to clear out the land and you're going to start building your own road. And you even need building to be in the plantation. And do you know our palm oil has these very characteristics that is a weak point, that the palm oil will not last long. That's why from the very moment you cut the palm oil fruits, what you must do with the palm oil fruits, you have to process it that very day. So that's why morning they cut, evening they will have to send it to the mill for the processing. If not, the fruit will get spoiled. Alright? Now that is why all the palm oil plantation farm, the factory is nearby. They cannot have a palm oil plantation farm in Malacca, then the factory is actually in Terengganu. They can't. So they always build a factory nearby. Alright? So if you go to Pulau Keri, you can see Sime Darby has a big piece of plantation farm there, and you can see the factory also there. Okay? Now, so this will give you an imagination of like what things we normally will do if you want to go into plantation. Now come back to the notes. That's why the typical qualifying agriculture expenditure will be things like this. Okay? Number one, you see A, clearing the land. Alright? And you've told me that. Okay? Clearing the land. Now, planting of crops. And guys, take note in the word planting in the bracket, they say what? Planting in the bracket and then but what? But not replanting. You know, the tree is not there like forever one, you know. You know, once your tree gets older, what will happen? The tree don't die, alright? The tree just become less fertile. So the fruits will get more or lesser. So I ask you, chicken egg. Chicken egg is big. You got big size and small size one, right? So the big size chicken egg come from old chicken or young chicken? Okay. Interesting. So we study beyond accounting, alright? So the chicken egg that when they grow older, the size of the egg is bigger. As older, so that when you go buy the super grade AA chicken egg, it's old chicken, alright? So I don't know whether nutritional wise is the old chicken giving a better egg or less better egg. So a old woman give birth to a son smarter or more stupid? Huh? but Sarah give birth at very old. No, I'm just joking. I'm just going beyond, but I just want to tell you it's true, okay? The old chicken actually give bigger eggs. So when you start breeding the first batch of chicken, do you know how big is the egg that the chicken egg lay when they are starting? Pigeon egg like that, I mean. Oh, you don't believe, right? The egg so small only, like pigeon egg. That's usually we call the starting the starting part of the chicken. So they have to lay a few cycle. Then the eggs will get bigger and bigger. How many eggs that chicken lay a day? You like a day? Alright, yeah. Some chickens. That's why we have boiler egg and layer egg. Boiler chicken and layer chicken. Alright. And actually, in the past, when we talk about tax incentive, that is when the government encourage people to come into farming. They actually will insist of how many boiler chicken you must have, how many layer chicken you must have. So all this is quite interesting. Boiler chicken is you breed the chicken for the meat. Layer chicken is to breed the chicken for the egg. Then this layer chicken, after they lay until they very old already, cannot lay egg already, not so productive already. Then the chicken they don't eat one because the chicken meat is not nice. Interesting. Okay, one class on chicken. Now, so sorry, back to planting and then at the bracket, not replanting. Now, you know the trees are actually they replant after certain cycle. Alright? Of course, you talk about palm oil tree, at least the replanting could be quite long. If you're talking about vegetable, the replanting is actually not very long, right? Because vegetable is like so fast. After you harvest, you plant again. You harvest, you plant again. Now, we are not talking about the replanting. We're talking about the first time you plant. Okay? First time you plant. Now, what's wrong with replanting? The replanting expenditure is actually revenue. It's under section 34 where you are actually given full deduction as an expense. Okay. And then you see what I've said just now, on the farm, it's very likely you're going to construct road, construct bridge. Now, these three, okay, these three will be the qualifying capital expenditure that we will give 50%. So can we just write aside 50%? Okay, then going down to D. Now D is a bit long, so I'm going to categorize it for you. Okay, the building used for purpose of the business, that's one. And then the other one is building that is provided for the welfare of the person or leaving a com for the person employed. Now, I've differentiated with colors, so I hope you can see that these are the two different types of building that we're saying. Now, building that you're using it for the business is given a rate of 10%. Now, I give an example, like, for example, you may have a store, you may have a mill, you may have an office. So long that they are used for business. Now, building that you're using it as a com, like the quarters that you build inside for your plantation workers to stay. Now, or even a building that you're using it as it meant for a welfare of the people. For example, a place for them to do worship. All right? Or for example, maybe you bring all the plantation workers inside. Imagine they have hundreds of people inside with families, with children. So you say, I want to build a small place for them to let their children study. So you build a school, so-called school. Okay? Now that's for welfare. All right? Now anything that is meant for welfare, we will give you 20%. Okay? So you're clear about the rates? Okay, come back. Alright? Okay. When you claim capital allowance, do you time a portion? If I buy the assets middle of the year or end of the year, does it affect my CA? No, it doesn't affect my CA. Okay, so I don't do time apportionment. So always remember that. So in CA, we will have no time apportionment. Okay, that's one. And number two, can I know what happened to your CA when you dispose asset? Can you claim CA when you sell asset? No, right? No CA, or I just write no AA lah, okay? No AA in the year of assessment of disposal. Okay. And look at how different agriculture allowance is, okay? In the year of disposal, right, if you fulfill the condition, so you still have a condition actually, okay? So if you fulfill the condition, then what happened is the disposer can claim agriculture allowance, but you time apportion it. So it looks quite reverse, right? Because normally we tell you there's no time apportionment, there is no allowance when you dispose. And now we're telling you that in the year of the disposal, if you fulfill the condition, will allow you to claim, but you have to time apportion. So it's like totally opposite of what we have seen so far, okay? Okay, then you're probably going to ask like, so what condition is that? Now that will be something I will come in later on. Just be patient, okay? We'll see this later. Okay, next. Now, can I know what happened when you dispose asset? What do you do if you dispose asset? You calculate or you compute your BA/BC, right? So you're going to compute your BA/BC. Now, any one of you recall the rule on clawback or not? Section Schedule 6, Schedule 3, paragraph 71. Yeah, then what happened? You claw back. But the question is how long that you dispose that clawback is applicable? Within 2 years, exactly. Okay. So that means when you buy assets, right, you're not supposed to sell off the assets within 2 years. If not, you're going to result in what we call a clawback. All right. Now this is usually what happens when you have disposal. Okay. So we have a clawback rule that's based on 2 years. Okay. Now I would like you to understand that for agriculture allowance, right, when you dispose your agriculture assets, now I just call that as agriculture assets. Now, first, we will just ignore the consideration. Consideration is the price that you charge to sell off the asset, okay, the proceeds. So what do? You ignore it. I don't care how much you're selling. So I got a piece of farm that I'm going to sell for 500,000. I don't care, all right? So as far as tax is concerned, we don't care about your consideration. So we don't actually do a BA/BC adjustment. We don't do that, okay? But we have something more scarier, that the clawback rule. Now, because this is agriculture, so we call it as agriculture charge. Okay? That we claw back if you disposed it within, now, 5 years. Okay? 5 years. So basically, you are not supposed to sell your agricultural asset within 5 years. All right. But if you really truly do an agricultural business, you know, 5 years very, very short. Because if you really start planting, you think you can harvest anything in 5 years or not? You're not going to make any money or so. So that's why it really doesn't make sense for you to really take a piece of land and then you sell it within 5 years, unless you are not intending to do agriculture. So you could have other reason at the back which we do not know. That's why the law says that 5 years will be the clawback. You sell after 5 years, no issue. Nothing happened. Okay? Now, this is what happened to you for the person who incur the agricultural expenditure. So imagine when you dispose asset, right? Let's say if A sells the machine to B, and let's say you're selling the machine for a price of 30,000. Now, can I know what happens to B? If B buys over your machine for 40,000, what will happen to B? I have the machine. So if I sell the machine to her, what will happen to me? BA/BC, right? Okay, what will happen to her after she buy my machine? Yeah, she will claim IAA because she's buying a machine from me, so she'll take that and start claiming capital allowance. So she's going to take IA and AA on the asset. But question is what amount that she's going to use? If based on this example, which amount that she's going to use? The 30,000, because that's what she's paying. She paid 30,000 to buy the machine from A, so she's going to claim at 30,000. You see that? So to B, right, the qualifying plant expenditure will be 30,000. Okay, now there's a slight problem here if it's an agriculture allowance. You see, agriculture allowance works in this way. Now, if X dispose an agricultural assets to Y, and let's say you're selling it for 200,000. Now, what happened to Y is you will claim the remaining allowance. So I just use a simple English word called leftover, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to claim what we call as a leftover. And you say that what about that 200,000 that Y paid for the asset? It doesn't matter. We don't care about how much you're paying, okay? You just claim the leftover. Okay, so this is the main thing that we're going to see for agriculture. So I'm going to run through a couple of things here and give you an example. Now, first I want you to see this. What is this condition that we're saying? Conditions that you can still claim in the year of your disposal. Now I'm going to bring you to this part of the notes. I go to page 249. Okay? Yep. Go down. Go down. Further down. Oh. So I'm not wrong. You say scroll down, man. I'm doing down, right? Scroll up. Okay. Now go to page 249. Now come down to this part. Here. Take a look at this part. Now, no agriculture allowance is given when an asset is transferred or transmitted. Now, this is basically a disposal. The reason why you're transferring an asset is because you're disposing an asset. Now, it says that when the asset is transferred or transmitted in the basis period for that year, if it was not in use. So, it says if it was not in use, then no allowance shall be made. So what if it in use? Then you can claim. That's what it means, right? Because they say no allowance if it was not in use. So if it was in use, then you can claim. Now that is our understanding. That's why I say if it was not in use. Now, but the condition for not in use is within 1 month before that transfer took place. So, if it was in use, then you can claim. And now you have another issue to see. The transmitter, that means the disposer, entitled to only a part And what is that part? Now, if you read the law, right, it actually based on the number of days. You see or not? They say the part that bears the proportion to the whole of the allowance as the number of days comprised in the period which begin at the beginning of the basis period and ends on the day of the transmission over 365. So technically, we read the law is basically calculated on the days basis. So you must check. If let's say I transfer the assets on the 19th of April, then how many days are there? Then over 365 days. Can you see or not? Now, but you know, in exam we don't test you days. In exam, all the calculation is rounded to months. And in exam, the questions are all very artificial. Everything will happen first of the month or end of the month. They never have something like 18 April. Okay? Now, so just take note of that. Now you have to time a portion. Okay, now I illustrate to you what does it mean. Okay. Let's say you dispose your asset 1st of July 2019. Okay? Either you call dispose or you call transmit or transfer. Okay, the question that you must now sort out is this. Ask yourself, the 1 month before the transmission take place. Okay, the 1 month before transmission takes place is 1st of June to 30th of June. So the transfer take place on 1st of July. So the 1 month before that. So it's 1st of June to 30th of June. Now this is the period that we must ask. Is the asset in use or not? That's the question. Okay? So you must come here and ask here. Okay? Is asset in use? Now, if the answer is yes, the disposer can claim, agree, allowance. If the answer is no, then sorry, don't have. So let's say in the plantation farm you have a mill. Now my question is, the mill, is it still in operation? Are you still using the mill and do anything with it? Now if you say no, the mill has been left there idle, you never use, okay, then my question is, when was the last day you stopped using? So if let's say you tell me you already stopped using all these assets here, let's say you stop here. Now then the answer is sorry, you are not entitled to claim anything because you stop using before the 1 month. But if let's say you're telling me that no, the assets are in use and then you continue using the asset, let's say for example you use all the way until here, you stop here, that means somewhere in that 1 month the asset is still in use, right? Okay, then you're allowed to claim the allowance. So you have to ask, are they in use or not? Now I noticed in the past year exam, examiner usually forgot to give this part to tell you whether it's still in use in that 1 month or not. So if the exam question is silent, they always assume in use. Okay, take note. If the exam question is silent, you always assume it in use. You probably have to write down the assumption in the answer. Okay. Okay, this is the thing that we're going to see now. How do you apply that and how do you show them on numbers? Okay, can we go to page 251? Okay, I will come back to this table again and explain a few more issues to you, but I want to show you with some numbers. So you just come to page 251. Okay. So agriculture allowance is really simple. It's so much easier than CA and IBA. Okay, let's look at this example. Now there's a company called York Sandram Berhad. The year end is December. Now, and they gave us 3 expenditure. In February, they spent 50,000 to clear the land. Then they spent 30,000 for initial planting. Then they spent 60,000 to build a living quarter. Okay, now just up to this stage. The rest, no, just ignore this. Okay, just up to this stage. Don't care about the rest. Now, can I know first of all, what rate do you claim? Okay, clearing land, 50. Okay, good. Planting, 50. Excellent. Now, living quarter, 20. Okay, so if nothing happens, right, you just continue claiming just like normal all the way until the end. How would you visualize the number? Now, the number will appear in this way. So the 50,000 will become 25,000 in 2015, 25,000 in 2016. That's it, you're done, okay? Now then you will notice that there will be a 15,000 in 2015 and 2016. Okay. Then you will have 12,000 for the living account. Now, okay, just look at the screen for a moment. Now, I didn't show all the year here, but I just want you to see, if this goes on all the way till the end, it's going to be like that. It will be 12,000 for 5 years until 2019. That's how you finished, okay? Now, but I'm going to change this answer because that's not what the example is all about. You're done? Okay, now read this. York transferred the assets to SMART on 1st July 2018 for 160,000. And York uses the assets up to 15 June. Okay? So this information is vital, right? It tells us that within 1 month before the transfer, the asset is still in use. Okay? Within 1 month before transfer, the asset is still in use. So what? Can claim. So who can claim? Who? York. Okay, so York can claim the agriculture allowance. Okay, I'm sorry, I must come back and erase this figure now. Okay, I don't want the 2019 because 2018 you dispose of it. Okay guys, just look up at the screen here and then you see what we're going to do. Now for 2018, if you didn't sell off the assets, you're supposed to claim the 12,000. If you didn't sell off the asset, you're supposed to claim the 12,000. But now we know that York has disposed the asset. Okay? York has disposed the asset. And we also know that York used the asset within 1 month before the disposal. And you concluded in that case that York can claim agriculture allowance. But question is, can you claim the full amount? What did we say just now? Now, if I come back to what I've just written, you have to time a portion. Okay, so back to this. You cannot claim 12. You only claim the period that you own the assets. Now this is very clear cut. The disposal is on 1st July. That means you have how many months? 6. That means you're going to have 12 times 612. So you've got 6,000. Okay, any problems so far? Question? So you're clear about what happened to the disposer. Now, what happened to Smart that is buying over the asset? You notice that the company actually paid 160,000 to buy over the asset, right? Now, what do you do with that 160? Ignore. It doesn't matter. I don't care how much you pay. It makes no difference to me. So this 160 is useless. So what is the rule that buyer will do? Claim what? I give you one word only just now. Leftover, yes. Claim the leftover. Okay. Can I know what is the leftover for cost of clearing land? 0, nothing left what? You get everything already, right? 0, so nothing left. Initial planting? 0. Okay, what about living quarter? 2018, how much more can I still claim? Exactly, 6. So this amount becomes 0, 0, 6, and then you're supposed to have 12, and then no more. Now, so think about this. So imagine if I change the facts of this example and say, York used the asset until 1st of April. That means within the 1 month, York didn't use the asset. So tell me what is the amount here? 0. Okay, good. Then what is the amount here? Exactly. So you get the concept. Alright? So this is what you claim based on the requirement. And after what you have claimed, the buyer will claim the leftover. Okay? Now, and remember just I've told you that when you sell assets, right? Yeah.
Sorry, but the living quarter in 2019, the buyer paid 20%, right?
Living quarter. Yeah, the buyer will claim. 2019. Yeah. 12,000.
The buyer with the seller.
Yes, because it's your asset now. You bought over, so you continue claiming the full amount, which is 12,000.
So it still shows in my tax.
Of course, it's yours. You are the buyer, right? It's your asset, right? So you claim.
So what happens to the seller tax position?
What if what?
What happens to the seller, the disposer's tax
The seller finish.
position anymore?
Yeah, no more, because the asset is not me. I don't have the asset one. I give it to you already. So it doesn't affect me anymore. Okay? In terms of I have no more asset, I cannot claim anything. Now you will do the claim because the assets is yours. You get the idea now? So I pass on to you. Okay? Now, but we have not finished with the seller. We still have one issue. Remember here we mentioned to you that the government will claw back everything if you do what? If you dispose within 5 years. And look back into this example. Is it true that York disposed within 5 years? It is what? Because you incurred in 2015 and now you're telling me in 2018 you start disposing. Now that's why I come down and tell you the additional issue. Now what will happen to York when you do disposal in 5 years? Now all your agriculture allowances claim will become agriculture charge. Okay, we don't use the word balancing charge, we use the word agriculture charge. Okay. And this is what I want to explain to you. The government gives us a choice. Okay? The government says that, okay, if I want to charge you, I'll let you choose the way how you want me to charge you. Alright? Now if you go up, right, just the same page up. Now you can have a choice of either you don't elect or you make election. So the whole idea of making election means you have to submit in the form that you tell the government you want to go for this treatment. That's called election. You got to submit a form. Now you say I choose not to do anything, can. If you choose not to do anything, that means there's no election. Okay? So if there's no election, it's very clear cut. The government just take everything, charge everything in the very year you dispose. So all allowances charged in that year the disposal take place. Now that's very straightforward. Okay? Now, if you don't want that, then you can tell the government that you want to spread back. Now, so what you have to do is you have to write within 3 months from the beginning of the year of assessment that asset was disposed. Now, the idea is this. If you dispose the asset in Y18, right, you must elect latest by 31st March 2019. So the date is always 31st March because it's beginning of the year of assessment. 3 months from the beginning. So 3 months beginning is 31st March. So if you say you dispose the asset 2018, right? This is the last day that you have to submit to the government in writing and request the government to do what? Now, this is the treatment. Divide equally the charge over the year of assessment allowances given. Now, divide equally over years that allowances given. Okay, so if you come down, right. What happens if you don't do election? Okay, imagine this is what you see in 2018. You're going to have an adjusted income, which I don't know what's the figure. You're going to add the agriculture charge, and also you minus the agriculture allowance. It might give you a feeling that it's kind of funny, right? Because you claim and then you charge, but that's how it works. Okay, so the claim is the amount that you had for that year, which is how much? 6,000, right? See? You have 6,000 for 2018. Now that 6,000 will be there. Okay, so 6,000 is there. Okay, but how much is the charge? If you go up, right? If you add up all these allowances that you have, you actually have 122. Okay, 122. Now, if you elect, this is what happened. Okay, if you elect, you have to spread back. Now, how do you spread back? Okay, the spread back is going to be in this way. You have claimed for clearing land 50,000. You have claimed planting 30,000, And you have also claimed for living quarter how much? 3642. Okay? Now, you're supposed to divide it back in the respective years that you've claimed all these things. Okay? You're supposed to divide back with the respective years that you've claimed all these things. Now, how do you do that? Okay, can we look at the first one? Now, can I know how many years that you've claimed the clearing of land? 2 years, right? So you divide by 2. Okay, when you divide by 2, then which 2 years that you give back the charge? 15 and 16, because that's where the claim were made. Now, then you probably will know, okay, then planting, what do? You divide by 2, then 15, 15, correct not? Okay, the trick or the slightly different one is the last one. Living quarter, divide by what? Divide by what? Now, I'm not sure if this crossed your mind. Some of you will say, divide by 3.5. You say, why 3.5? Because that last year you only claimed half the year. Now, no. The law never asks you to do a time apportionment. The law just says, if you have claimed this in that 1 year, that 1 year is counted as 1. So, if you have claimed them over the 4 year, even though the last year was a different amount, you still have to divide it by 4. So you will see the answers be 25, 25, 15, 15, 10 and a half. Okay, now that's how you handle agriculture allowance. So much straightforward, right? So we just take a short time, then we finish this. Okay, now page 252, there is one example. I would like you to try that. 252. Okay, so if you have done that, let's go and set up our Excel again. Okay, going down to the first part of the requirement. Now, they ask us to calculate the agriculture allowances up to 2018. Alright? Now, this is really straightforward. So, part A, compute agriculture allowances. Now, let me tell you what to do, okay? Look at the requirement again. Now, the first part of the questions, they're telling you about this company called Kaya Farm that prepared their account to 31st December. The year end is very important. It tells us the YA, okay? Now, take note of this. There's a list of dates and there's a list of expenditure. Then they give us this amount here, okay? Now, you got to ask yourself as you go through all this, what is the rate you're going to claim? Okay? Now, of course, then after that, they tell you that the company commenced to plant corn on 17 October 2018 on an adjacent plot of land that they purchased for 100,000. and Kaya Farm incurred 50,000 to to clear the farm. Okay, to clear the farm, and a further 30,000 to plant corn. Okay, so that's another 2 expenditure that they mentioned here. Now, moving forward, then they say the adjusted income of the plantation business 690,000 before taking into account the above item. Now, all that is not relevant to Part A anymore because they start telling you about the business. How much is the income? Okay, so as far as Part A is concerned, that's it. You only need up to this part. Okay, so what we want you to do is this. Oops, sorry. Now, you got to list down what is your qualifying agriculture expenditure and what is the rate. And then you will have your agriculture allowance. Now, and of course, you need to show 2017, 2018. Okay, that's my agriculture allowances. Okay, let's just highlight these 2 cells and we merge it. Okay, now, so I'll start with the first one and I would like you to carry on. Okay, now they tell us cost of land. Okay, you tell me, is cost of land qualifying or not? Did we go through anything just now that mentioned land? The land itself, the cost of the land? Yes or no? No, we mentioned what? Clearing. Yeah, we're talking about clearing the land. We're not talking about the land. So is the cost of land qualifying? No. So the amount is 0. Okay? Okay, then go on. It says clearing land. And the amount given is 90,000, right? Okay, let me just set my number to no decimal and use separator. Okay? 90. Okay, what rate do you apply? 50%, right? Okay, sorry. For percentage, I need to have 2 decimal point. You either put as decimal or you want to show it as percentage, then you just set formatting and convert it to percentage. Now, then your answer will be equals to the 90,000 multiply with the rate. Then you get 45. Okay? Just resize the column a bit, then you can show the figure. Alright? So you've got 45,000, 45,000. Okay, now, and can you now try the rest? I'll give you 4 minutes. Okay, just go through the list. Ask yourself whether it's qualifying, and if yes, what is the rate, and get the figure.
I finished marking 2 papers. How do you program do you use?
你 OK 吗？去看医生啊！
哎呦，呵呵。
要教会带你去。Sorry? Yeah. Because the cost to clear rent is given at 50. Not here, not here. Here. Okay, I'll just do, you carry on. Construction of roads, and then workers' quarter, initial planting of veggie. Okay, then there's a truck, there's a temple, there's a replanting of veggie, there's a store, and then they clear farm, the new land, and then they also have initial planting of corn. Okay, constructing road, how much is the amount? 80. Workers' quarter is 40, right? Tell me if I'm wrong, because it's a bit hard for me to read from the notes. Initial planting 70. Now the truck is 0, because truck is not qualifying agriculture but is capital allowance. Okay, then the temple is 30. Now replanting is 0 also, that's not qualifying. The store is 50, then another 50, and finally 30. Okay, so my rate 0.5, 0.2, 0.5, 0.2, 0.1, 0.5, 0.5. Now, and then guys, what you do is you just take these and pull all the way down. Sorry? No, the 10, if you want you can put it in, but don't need. Okay, so don't show the formula again and again, just pull it down. You're using Excel, okay? It will be auto-fill. If you're still not used to it, that's why you must keep on doing it until like, okay, now I get, that sensation of how to pull the things and stuff like that. Okay? Okay, now try part B. Finish part B, I'll let you all go for lunch. Let me just... Oh, sorry, I forgot the year. I just slumber pull everything down. The construction of store is actually 2017. Okay, and the construction, the farm also 2018. The planting is 2018. My apology. Okay. Okay, so total can be 134 and 179. Okay guys, I would like you to do part B now for me. Part B is to do the tax computation for year of assessment 2018. And the question says, please assume that this is a small company. You have to read the rest of the 4 paragraphs to finish your part B. Right, it says that the adjusted income of the plantation business is 690, and they also say that Kaya Farm has a manufacturing business with a statutory income of 180 and unabsorbed business loss of 30. They also have interest, and they also mention that there is a donation. Now, I would like you to recognize that there are 2 businesses actually. One is the plantation business. And the plantation business, they have given you the adjusted income. Now, but you must be very, very careful, because they say the adjusted income is before taking into account the above. Okay? Okay, so what are the above that you have to do the adjustment? Anyone know what adjustment we have to do? Any clue that's from you? What adjustment do you have to do? You have to minus off. Minus what? Do you minus anything? This is just the beginning. Tahan eh? Okay, so I see most of you minus agriculture allowance. Good. And then you get statutory income, right? Good. But you can be better. I mean you're good, alright? You're good, okay? But you really can be better, right? Replanting expenditure. You say, what? Shit, what? Okay. That's why if you use Excel, it's so much easier. Just cut and pull it down. Don't insert line, okay? Because exam cannot insert line. Cut, put it down, okay? Now this is the real adjusted income, the real one. Remember I've told you this? This is revenue expense deduction. Okay? Alright, now and okay, now I'll allow you to, you take in your agriculture allowance that the amount is 179,000. Okay, I would like to remind you that you also have capital allowance for the truck. Okay, so if you have missed the replanting expenditure, at least I find okay lah, because that's something quite new. But the truck is something quite common, right? So you shouldn't miss that. So the truck has 160,000 QPE, and then the annual allowance for truck is 20%. So you get 32,000. Now this is not first year, that's why you only have annual allowance, okay? So the statutory income will be 419. Okay, then you have another manufacturing business that the statutory income has been given as 180. So this is my aggregate business statutory income. $599. And you can see the second last paragraph, they did mention about the unabsorbed business loss brought forward, right? And that loss is 30,000. So the net figure will be 569. Okay, this is all the businesses that they are saying. Any issues so far? 4C, interest. Correct or not? There's a 12,000 interest. The interest is matured in year of assessment 2018. So you tax that. So guys, we've come to the aggregate income. And then the last thing is your cash donation. That's maximum 10% of your aggregate. Now, the 10% is 581. So this is my total chargeable income. Okay, now question did say, right, that this is a small company. So I just do the tax here lah. So on the first 500,000, you pay tax at 17%. And then the 22,009, you pay tax at 24%. And that will be my tax payable. Okay, so I'm just showing the tax payable at the side here lah, so that you find that easier for you to refer. And that's our agriculture allowance, and we're done.